G'day friends. Some of us have been following the latest stuff with the CBDCs and how the central banks will use cryptocurrency technology, decentralized ledger technology, to place their digital currencies on. And it's pretty interesting because it's going to put a lot of the smaller banks out of business. And it seems that it'll be a further centralization of the power of the bank over us in particular, but over just about everything. So these central bank digital currencies can be programmed to track your habits, moves, obviously amounts, and it's a lot of information to gather from the money you spend. And so you could almost say that on the one hand that it's the checkmate of the bank over the entire population. Okay, if you're following the history of the bank, and I am saying in particular the Federal Reserve Bank, and the banks that own it and all that, right? There's a big history behind it, most of you know. And so this could be the, like I said, the checkmate blow to the bank, from the bank, because if everybody's depending on central bank digital currency, well, if they just switch it off, that is power over you. That could be viewed upon as checkmate. But the good news is, on the other hand, the situation is that these central bank digital currencies owned by the central banks require a certain mechanism to complete these transactions, all the transactions on the central bank digital currency ledger. And in particular, we've heard about HBAR by now. It took a long time for some people to catch on, and most of the crypto universe has not caught on. Say nothing about the general public as yet. Okay, so HBAR and the consensus algorithm of Hashgraph and Hedera in general is the best technology in the world, and it is an order of magnitude above the second rung of the technologies out there, there's some very good technologies out there, but Hedera Hashgraph is the best technology, even to handle a central bank digital currency. There's others that people are fond of, like XRP, that has done some deals and this and that, but never really delivered on putting all the central bank digital currencies onto itself, or just doing anything with digital currency just yet, other than the coin itself. But Hedera Hashgraph has shown in its very short time that it is the superior technology. It does the most transactions out of any other coin. It is faster than any other coin. It is cheaper to run than any other coin, and it has asynchronous Byzantine fault tolerance. And no one really else that's serious that hasn't copied Hedera Hashgraph has got that. And XRP does not have that. And so this is what I believe that the banks are going to want. Just basically an unhackable, uncrashable, asynchronous Byzantine fault-tolerant platform. I think that's what they want. So let's just assume and let's say that that's what they want. Okay. So to run their transactions, what they need is HBAR, and the bank. That's a not negotiable. For the bank to do the transaction, it needs HBAR in order to do the transaction. And guess who own the HBAR? Guess who own the HBAR? Not a central bank or a central person, but the people own the HBAR. The people own that digital asset, that digital gold that the bank needs to do all of its transaction on the central bank digital currency, which it really, really wants, so it can get more information and can be a lot cheaper. They can get rid of all the small banks and they can just have a better business. But the thing that the bank needs is HBAR. The bank can go and print all the money in the world it wants if it can, and it can right now. But even if the bank creates fiat and all that, all those transactions require HBAR, which the people own the HBAR. So, it's quite a decentralized ownership, wouldn't you say? Which is the whole point. And it, in effect, is quite a distributed ownership of the thing that the bank needs to stay in business. Because if that bank doesn't do it, the bank that does will overtake the bank that doesn't do it. So sooner or later, we'll get either a bank that's more ethical, or there could be a movement altogether within the people that own the asset to say, hang on, bank, it's time to stop printing all this money on stuff that we don't need, or these agendas, or this and that, and the people can vote with their dollars, so to speak. And there are ways that the ownership of these people, the owners of the HBAR, could come together somehow and influence and possibly slow down and even possibly reverse the actions of these out-of-control banks. You see? Because we have the digital gold, which is the HBAR. So it could look a bit scary. I know there's a couple of guys out there that are worried about the central bank digital currency. If it wasn't owned by such bad people, I suppose it wouldn't be such a bad thing. Transfer funds at the speed of light, and for not even a tenth of a penny. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing technologically, but it's the fiat side that's a bit of a problem. And I think more than ever before, thanks to Hedera Hashgraph and HBAR, that we may have a future where it's not checkmate for the banks, but it's checkmate for Hedera Hashgraph and the people. Anyway, just a bit of a positive spin, but until next time, peace.